Hi, everyone. How is everybody today? I'm super excited because we have the amazing Nicole here. You've all heard me talk about the help I've gotten with Sadie from somebody who was able to help me communicate with her because I literally got that girl off the streets. I have zero history. And besides that, she is just a wonderful human, an incredible tarot reader, gifted psychic, medium, all of it. Her readings have been super accurate. And you all know me, my integrity. If I didn't know and didn't feel like this community was safe with her gifts and that she was genuine, I wouldn't have her here, but I do. So this is our second guest. We had Samantha last time, who was wonderful, and today we have Nicole. Um, I'm gonna give Nicole just a minute to say hi, and you can share as little or as much as you would like about yourself.
Oh, hi everyone. Gonna be a little bit. I am a mom of 3 girls, and I love tarot, spiritualism. This is a savior for me, so I'll hand it back to you, Suzzy.
Um, so we're excited. We're gonna do the regular Astro Tarot. Sometimes Nicole will pull for the sign, and I will pull for the sign. So if you are new here, make sure you say hi in the chat because our community is awesome, and they will answer questions for you. And they're just lovely humans, and they're funny. So yeah, you can just follow along the bouncing ball in the community if you're a little lost. I go through all 12 signs. It's all placements, and it's Astro Tarot. So I'm an astrologer. So it's tarot and astrology a little bit mixed together. We focus on healing and empowerment. I will answer what are they thinking, but I more like to focus on how does it express for you, what is it bringing light for, how does it empower you, to show you something, to make decisions, whatever it is. So we're going to go through all 12 signs, but we're going to take breaks to let you guys ask questions. And before we get started, I would just if Nicole, can you put your link tree in the chat?
Yes.
The one thing, like, I love giving back, you guys, that I will be here answering questions, whatnot. And I'm never trying to sell you a whole bunch of stuff. But what I would love, especially today, is if you would give Nicole a follow on her socials. So I'm going to have her share her link tree in the, actually, and she has her own YouTube. She doesn't have videos yet. So I'm going to have her share her link tree in the comments. And if everyone would just give her a follow. And I think we're also running a little raffle. I'm announcing my raffle tomorrow for the birthday special. But if you email her at Nicole Lilith medium at Gmail, which I will type in the chats, and let her know what your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever you followed her, just let her know, because then she'll come back maybe next week and do readings for those who followed her. We can just have a guest special where it's, instead of doing the all 12 signs, it's just that. So if you don't get read today, there's a big chance we're not asking for super chats or anything else. If you just give her socials a follow, so you can email her at Nicole Lilith, which is Lilith. I'll put it in the comments. Medium at Gmail, and so she knows who you are, because I can tell you I love all of you, but sometimes y'all have a different name. Like, I'm Suzzy Evolutionary Across Everything, and sometimes one of you is like Potato Family on one, and then you're like Special Star on another. And some of you use your kids' handles sometimes in a pinch. So just so you're letting her know so she can appropriately make a list, then so she recognizes you when you're on YouTube. And you can tell her to keep you. I have so many people that I never say what their real name is in the chat. I just refer to them as their YouTube name, even though I've had many sessions with them. So if you want to remain anonymous, you can do that too. Hey, Lee. So we have Lee is moderating. Thank you, Lee. She's on it.
Thank you, Lee.
All right. So I have fed her well the last couple of days. So she has unearthed herself on a Saturday morning to come help. Yeah, she's got strawberry shortcake and there's mint Oreo icebox cake, and I made all kinds of pastas and Parmesan, smashed broccoli Parmesan. If no one's tried that yet, oh my God. And it makes me, yeah, it's so good. You just cook broccoli a little, you smash it with like a cup, so the kids love doing it too. You can like smash it with a coffee cup, and you put like olive oil, salt, and Parmesan on it into the oven. It's super low maintenance, super delicious. So we were outside on the deck last night eating those and living our best life. So, all right, so let's get started. Well, I'm going to start with Aries. And as you all know, we're in that period of time right now. There's a lot of janky, it's going to continue through the summer. I've been saying this for months, so I hope you guys have been listening. And if you haven't watched the Summer of Love video that Connie Jo and I did, and she will be back soon. She and I were just talking about her coming to start the Soulmate series in September. Her summer is super busy. And then I'm away 1 week when she's available. So, but anyway, watch the Summer of Love video, but that'll give you all the transits. You can watch it with your chart. You know, there's a little break right now in some ways, depending on your chart. The mundane, the collective transits, not so great, and you're going to be seeing stuff in the news a lot that will reflect that. But right now we have Neptune in retrograde, which is kind of nice. It's a little bit more clear seeing. It's a little less lying. It's not like lying doesn't happen during this transit. It's just that we find out. We find out, and that's good for us, because then we can make our decisions in truth. And you know, Venus hasn't hit retrograde yet. And again, I just want to reiterate, and I think I'm going to make like a shorts video. You know, Venus retrogrades are not, I say this all the time, retrogrades are not disastrous. They mean reevaluate how you attract things into your life, reevaluate your money relationships, and your relationship with money, and reevaluate what you invest your time, your heart, and your hard work, you know, your hard earned finances in. But what you're not going to do is just invest in a haircut. Don't be Carrie Russell and cut all your hair off. Go watch that video if you didn't see it. But, and don't, you know, just go watch the Summer of Love video for all of that. But we're in this in-between space. So it feels like there's cracks of opportunities. And so I have a feeling, because it's kind of, there's always a little bit of a theme every week, that this week we're going to be looking at, like, you're going to have an opportunity to make a good decision. And there's going to be like clear signs. And I have a feeling this week, a lot of the messages are going to be like, what are you choosing to ignore? Maybe that's what we should just make it, Nicole. Like for each sign, like what should you be aware in your energy not to ignore, so that the rest of the summer can go as well as possible. Lee's putting up your link tree. She got you.
Thank you, Lee.
Venus is lighting up your chart all through the summer. Born under a Venus retrograde. Okay, well, if you're born under a Venus retrograde, the good news is this will just feel like a Tuesday. You know, when you have a retrograde in your chart, when the retrogrades hit, it feels a little less wonky than it does for everyone else. Yeah, we are going to do questions in between this time, so people have some access to Nicole. And you know, I'm gonna let her. I work how I work. She's gonna work how she's worked, because our guides are in charge of us. Spirits in charge of us. You know, I might work faster than somebody, but I'm slow as anything next to Connie Joe works faster than me. Everybody's gonna work how they work. And so she's gonna take questions, and if it's one in between, then it's one in between. We're just gonna see how it goes, because we're really not in charge. We're not. Nope. And so, and I think, Nicole, if we do another show and you're reading for people, if they want to ask about somebody specific, do you prefer pictures? How do you work? Let's talk about that while I shuffle. How do you work when you're connecting to an energy?
I preferably need a picture, or yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for me to connect with a picture.
Yeah. I know I showed her a picture of somebody. I told her nothing about the accuracy. And you can't find it on my social media. You would not know I even know this person from my nothing. Yeah. Not that she would do that anyway. But, and of course she saw Sadie up close. She saw Sadie in a Zoom. Okay. So yeah, so if you're going to follow her, send her an email, and also send just the picture of the person, so that she can, you know, make a little folder in her email, and the next time she's up here, she'll be able to pull up the picture with your YouTube name. So in the subject, make sure you put your YouTube name so it's easier to find next time. Right? There's my Virgo at work, working on the fly to organize things. Okay. All right, Aries and first house placements. The thing. Okay. We have the Nine of Swords, the thoughts that keep us up at 4 a.m., the insomnia card. All right, so the Eight of Swords for me is anxiety. It's the thoughts, our own thoughts, that keep us hostage, right? Anxiety, fear. It can even be, for me, the Eight of Swords can be that prolonged survival mode brain, right? Because there's the front of our brain, the frontal cortex, that's where we're supposed to be making decisions, critical thinking, right? The frontal, the lobe. And then we have that where we keep our trauma. And when we have prolonged stress, prolonged trauma, and people do, we start making decisions out of that survival mode that we're only supposed to be using in crisis. But when it feels like life is a crisis all the time, right? So you can get in that Eight of Swords energy for a really long time. With this, to me, this is somebody, we normally know when people have anxiety. There's some kind of tell. This is when somebody is like this all the time, and then they go home and they don't sleep and they shove it all down. Now, I feel it's really odd to get this for Aries, because we're asking, like, what should you not ignore? If you know something about a situation, there's going to just be, and this keeps happening in private sessions, it's hard to unknow things. Aries, I know you're pretty good about saying what you have to say, blurting it out, but you know, you could be an Aries with a softer Mercury. You could be, this is for whatever it is, Aries, that you just don't want it to be true. It's not that you don't have the bravery to speak up. It's just that you don't want it to be true. And you're kind of pretending during the day and stressing out at night. And, you know, obviously that leads to health problems, all kinds of things. But for Aries, this isn't just about, because Aries will say it, but it's what you don't want to be true. And Aries has a conquering thing, and they're very passionate. And when they decide they're going to save somebody and love them, especially Aries moon, We really are very good at pretending things are not the way they are. Because we don't want it to be true. We want to finish the rescue. We want to finish the mission. We want to stay passionate about what makes us feel alive. Scorpio, Aries, both ruled by Mars, both like to stick your finger in the fire just to make sure you're alive and really truly living. Just be careful that you're not doing that, Aries, in a way that stresses you out so much at night that it is unhealthy, and you can't change what is. That's where we should all look to Aquarius for leadership. It is what it is. They're not going to judge it, and they're not about that drama. They're just going to accept it. Just had this conversation with another metaphysical friend who said they just don't care. I said, no, it's not that they don't care. It's that they don't try to reinvent the wheel. Aquarius doesn't. They're not going to try to make it something it's not. So you're just not getting the reaction of, oh my God, that you might get from somebody else. And it feels like they don't care or they do. They're just like, okay, let's find that they're about solutions. They're not going to sit in the problem too long once they can find a solution. Okay. I'm going to do Leo, and then Nicole, you want to do Sag?
Sure.
Okay. So we are asking Spirit, what should we be aware of right now in this window of time between while we have Neptune in retrograde and before we have Leo in retrograde, because Leo, you have a Knight of Wands. Okay. Leo, our 5th house placements. Thank you, Juan, for always reminding me to say that. I don't. How do you like the Knights, Nicole? I feel like the Knights are like in as fast. They're out as fast as they're in. I don't.
Yeah, that one looks a little slow, but they're in and out.
Yeah. So what's interesting is the Knight of Wands here. This is the Tarot of the 78 Doors. This guy here is normally he is rushing in. He also needs garanimals. I don't know what he is wearing. But there's an open door. We have crows flying out. Something has just happened. The Knight of Wands is kind of coming in to pick up the pieces. The fact that this is a Knight of Wands, it doesn't come off like a Knight of Wands, is a little concerning for me. You know, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and you could be any of the sun signs and just have passionate placements. You could be an Earth with a water moon, but have like an Aries, Mars, and Venus. And you're going to go wherever it makes you feel lit up. And so just what we're going to avoid are people who rush in to try to fix things for you so that they can have the place in your life of you being grateful to them. Not that we shouldn't be grateful to people who help us, but I'm feeling the energy specifically of possibly somebody who's had their eye on you for a while, and they're going to try to come in and be your savior, your white knight, and they're going to look like they're in it for the long run, but I feel like they're more in it for the panty drop, for the conquering, and just let people show you who they are. Don't. And when you see it, it's not just let them show you. When you see it, don't excuse it. If a friend says to you, I know he's saying this or he's doing that or he's being really helpful or they're being really helpful, but a friend says they have an ick on them, like they just get a feeling, trust that. Trust that, so the rest of your summer doesn't have to be more complicated. Okay, do you want to do Sagittarius?
Sure.
I have a cat hair in my eyelash as per every single time I go live. Sagittarius or ninth house placements. Your partner is a first house Aries. He's been struggling, voiced it yesterday. Well, that's good that he voiced it.
I just got 2 cards. Oh, I get the Knight of Wands again and the Page of Wands.
Knight of Wands and Page of Wands?
Yeah. So, this Knight of Wands is moving in. So, this is what we need to avoid, right?
Well, just what we shouldn't ignore. Not avoid, but like ignore. Because with Neptune retrograde right now, we're going to be able to see things that normally people are better at hiding. We see that out in the news, and we're going to see it in our personal lives. So what should we not ignore right now?
Yeah, I feel this Knight of Wands in and out. I mean, there's a lot of passion here. So somebody might be pushing in. Okay, that's my contact. I'm sorry. But they're going to be out as soon as they come in.
That's how I would read that too. Just like the Knight of Wands coming in with offering something they can't sustain. With the Page of Wands there.
And yeah, with this Page of Wands, it's going to feel like a carefree energy. So you're going to want to sit, probably stay, but I don't feel that it's going to last.
It's funny too, because that would, after all of the heavy energy we've had, we're going to feel like just a little bit lighter for a week or so, I think. Again, the hard aspects, I think, are going to be more felt on a collective level. I think we're all still feeling the Uranus. But as that is separating, it's going to feel a little lighter. And so somebody that comes along that seems like carefree and everybody needs a break from the heaviness and the seriousness. But the thing is like, I feel like if these cards are coming up for us, from Spirit, it means you will see something, because we're asking like, what shouldn't you ignore? And to ignore something, you have to be aware of it, to willfully ignore it.
You're not going to miss whatever it is. You'll know.
Yeah. So if it feels like, well, maybe they're not going to stick around.
It feels fun.
Oh, yeah. And Sag loves fun. So for Sag, it's just, the Page of Wands too. The page brings information. And so I just feel like they might be not truthful either. Like, they say things to get things stirred up. Sometimes the Page of Wands, depending what other cards, it can be somebody who like gets stuff stirred up so that they can be part of the conversation or part of the.
It feels like you might get a message also, like you were just saying, they want to get you going just to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
See what you're going to do about it.
Okay, we are on to Earth signs. Taurus. Would you like to do Taurus?
Would I like to do Taurus?
Or I can do Taurus. It's whichever.
I'm a Taurus rising.
I know you are.
All right, Taurus.
Taurus are second house placements. We're all my bulls in here. Lee is a bull. She's not a bully, but she's a bull. My little alabaster baby who would rather not be in the sun, but I had her helping me yesterday in the yard. But then I feed her well. Although I'm sure she'd rather stay inside and just have ramen and be like, just keep that, Mom.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So I got the Magician.
Ooh.
Okay. Don't avoid whatever you're trying to manifest. I feel like you can manifest a lot. Um, whatever your hopes, wishes, and dreams are, everything is here. But you need to take the action.
I heard that before you said it right away. I love when this happens. So we do a meditation, Connie Joe and I do it. I did it with Nicole so that we're connecting. It just makes it better for the community so they're getting answers. And so yeah, so Taurus can manifest things and then not move out of what they're currently in to get to the thing that they already manifested for themselves. So don't avoid your own manifestation is exactly that's, and when you said like, oh, now it's here, but you just have to, don't stay stuck.
Yeah, and some of the stuff you've already manifested and you're like, it's here, but what do I do with it? I also feel that.
Yes. All right, and then we can do, I feel like I'll do Virgo and Capricorn, and then would you be up to taking some questions, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. Don't post any questions now. Wait till I give you the go ahead because we won't see them. Hi, Anna Michelle. A year ago, I answered a question on a live about, hold on. All right, about your brother-in-law's drug use and said he had a year to get it together and he is currently in rehab right now. Well, I am wishing him the best. Absolutely. And when he is in recovery, I promise you, you're going to, like, people in recovery, we can't even begin to understand their experience and their ability to phoenix and be resilient, and their wisdom is priceless. That's beautiful, Anna Michelle. I'm so happy for him, and I'm so happy for your family. Okay. Virgo, what should you not ignore? I don't know that Virgo's really their attention to detail. I don't know that they're ignoring anything. Virgo, 6th house placements. How are my closet freaks? Yeah, you're in recovery 11th. Good for you.
Good for you.
Smartest people I know, honestly. That's so hard. That's so hard. Okay. Virgo. Virgo would get this. You got the death card in reverse. So for me, when the death card comes in reverse, something that you were like, I'm done. I'm done. Coffin nails over my dead body. Done. You're not. There's a reason this thing or this person, which is what I feel, is going to come back to you. I mean, we have Virgo, we have Venus in retrograde in Leo, and then before that's over, Mercury. At one point, we have both. Actually, I think at some point in August, we have quite a bit in because Saturn is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde. Then Venus will go into retrograde. Mercury will be in retrograde. I think the only thing not in retrograde that could be in retrograde is Uranus in that little spot at the end of August, right? Well, Mars, obviously. That just had its turn for a while. But, you know, Virgos like to not just dot their I's and cross their T's if they're editing something or cleaning their house or being meticulous. They're really, really hard on themselves. And so when they go through, we don't talk about the fact that Virgo often gives a lot of chances too, because they will try to service the relationship, service the person, service the higher cause of the dichotomy of that exchange, whatnot. Something is coming back. Now listen, Virgos are also stubborn. They are earth signs. They will fight you if they have to. They don't want to. They'd rather be busy doing other things that are far more productive, but they will. And so when this comes in, you're going to feel like, I don't have time for that. I've resolved this within myself. I have gone through the self-mastery of this exchange. I don't think that you have to necessarily let this back in, because you have to fully let this person back into your life all the way. What we're going to do is we're going to just there is something that you were not ready for before, that this person or thing coming back is going to help you with about yourself. I don't think you permanently let them back in, but also don't ignore it, because here's what happens. And this is why I felt led to do the show wrapped around this theme, is because when we ignore stuff, we don't get a pass. There is not going, there is no going straight to go or collecting 200. It comes back in another way. And usually when we ignore something the first time, universe brings it back in a louder way. Sometimes more disruptive. So it may seem silly that we're saying like, this is what you shouldn't ignore. But listen, what you don't ignore now won't have to come back and knock on your door and go, hey, listen, this is the lesson that's on your, checklist while you're here. So don't ignore this return. It doesn't mean you have to keep them back in your life forever. It doesn't. But there's something about it that you're supposed to explore. Now we're doing Capricorn. Juan, you had premature signage. Hi, everybody. I know we have a couple people just joining while I'm shuffling for Capricorn. If you're just joining us, I am being joined by the lovely Miss Nicole Lilith, who is incredible. She has given me very accurate readings. Both Connie Jo and I, the first time we ever read for her, both of us, and we did not know this because we try not to talk about clients because the integrity of our relationship with spirit, we don't, and also we work hard on our gifts, so we don't really want to be influenced by somebody else's information. Like, that takes away the integrity of our own reading. So but I said to her, I think I want to start helping other people, giving them a platform to show off their gifts and just see if they like being on YouTube before they have to start a whole channel and blah, blah, blah. And she said, you know who's really gifted? Nicole. And I was like, oh my God, I told her the same thing. So the first time we each did a reading with her, the first thing we saw was her gifts. And she was ready. So, she is, and she's helped me tremendously with Sadie. So she is our guest today. And as soon as we're done, you came in at the right time. As soon as we're done with Capricorn, she's going to take some questions. Don't put your questions in yet. You know me, I'm going to wrangle it. And then if she doesn't get to you today, if Lee would be so kind to put her link tree up again, what we're going to do is you can email her. And hi, Stacy. You can email her. And then we'll do another show. When you email her, you're going to put your YouTube name in the subject matter, and then just tell her the socials that you followed her on and what your social name is on those different ones. And if you want a reading for a pet or a crossed over person, or even a person that's here, she did that with me. If you can include a picture, attach it to the email, then she can use that next time to get even deeper into the readings. So if you don't get read today, there's plenty of chances. Oh, and if you follow her, I'm going to run a contest. So I'm going to pick a name from all the people that followed her socials to give them a free reading from me as well, which is me. Oh. Always, at least once a show, do I not drop a card or it goes flying? Thank you. Perfect. So Lee just put up her link tree where you can find her socials, and then her email where you can email her. And you're
Thank
going to
you.
put your YouTube name in the subject. So this way, next show, when she sees your question, she knows who to pull up and what picture is yours. Okay. Capricorn. Oh. Capricorn, we have the Nine of Wands. It's funny, it's wild cherry. You're going to be keeping on and keeping on and keeping on and moving. Someone is going to make you feel a little defensive. Now, because Capricorn is one of my creme brulee signs. I'm Betty Joe. I'm looking at Betty's name and saying Betty Joe. Connie Joe is a Capricorn. I mean, they're creme brulee. They're mushes inside. They are incredible humans that really want to leave the world a better place than they found it. They're humanitarians that seem like you just shouldn't get in their way because they're achieving what they need to achieve. They're pretty good about like, I don't have time for that. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for the nonsense. There's things to do, right? In personal and in private life until it's like that person. Someone's going to come along. I find it funny that it's wild cherry. The other thing I will say is all of the times that I have found myself in a precarious position, possibly we're on the edge of needing bail money, being in wild places. I have been with a Capricorn. They work hard and they play hard. Whoever this is going to, you're going to feel a little defensive around them. You're going to feel maybe like something's not right here, but they are going to press that button on your Wonkavator, because Capricorn also has a little bit of a freak flag. When Connie Joe did the cardinal signs thing, I did the graphics for her, and the graphic for Capricorn was like this dominatrix with a whip in her mouth, and it said calling all cardinal signs and these freaks. It said Capricorn. Because as a Cancer, I have a lot of Capricorns in my life, and they are all fun. This wild cherry personality is going to, excuse my inappropriateness, you don't get in the van unless you think there are candies and puppies in there. There is going to be something about them that's magnetic. You are going to feel defensive around them, like you can't trust them in a way. You're not wrong. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. And the thing is that you don't usually slow down for a lot of people. You will. There's going to be something so like, yeah, about this person. They keep showing me somebody on one of those like, bucking bronco things. You know, when like you go on the mechanical bull. That's it. Mechanical bull and like the girl, and so they're showing me that like that is the kind of vibe they give you, like this is going to be a fun wild ride, and Capricorn does not mind. I know that they are stable, and I know that but in between the little parts of building the stability and building the legacy, they like to let loose because that's how they sustain the rest of it. And so yeah. Yeah, don't ignore. If you feel defensive, all of a sudden, if you feel like you have to like hide your trade secrets, hide your friends, hide your there is something there that you feel like, are they after that? Nah, they're just fun. If it feels like they're after something, don't ignore that feeling. Right? How could you resist, right? I mean, I won't, but I could tell some stories of what I have, experiences I have had in Capricornian company. It could be a coffee book. No pictures. Thank God before cell phones. Well, I mean, not before cell phones, but not like now. Not cell phone to social media in 0.3 seconds. So that's all I have to say about that. Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. So you can ask your questions to Nicole now. And again, I find her to be very accurate. She was just a client, so she didn't know like a ton about me, but I've asked her about things that I know she has zero, that most people don't know about me privately. And she was accurate. So you guys can ask your questions in the chat for Nicole. Can they ask about pets right now? But you would get more detail if they have a picture later also. But
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I could try to feel it
Yeah.
and see what I get now.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you while we wait, because there's a delay, while we wait for questions to come in for Nicole. Oh, okay. So Venus Energy says, "Hi, Nicole. Welcome. Should I go to the ceremony on the 16th?"
Okay.
So Sadie is really well behaved, but she has to use pee pads. She has some kind of trauma about she will do the second thing in a litter box, but not the first thing. So I have all these pee pads and I keep up on them. And then she just started peeing on the rug, and I'm like, oh my god, this girl is getting like the Swedish salmon treats and everything else. And Nicole's like, she's having a problem with her. She thought that the rug was a giant, it was like whitish. And she thought that the rug, also, we realized she couldn't see sometimes her food if there wasn't enough contrast. So she's not blind, but she's got problems. And we looked, and she's got all these things in her one eye. And since we like fixed everything with her vision, it's been so much better.
One floor.
Sorry, I might be contagious with stuff going on the floor.
It always happens. So when I was shuffling, I saw the Ten of Swords and the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Wands came out with the Two of Cups. So should you go to the ceremony? I don't feel like it's a no. It just might be a burden on let me just feel this. Yeah, there's something rooted in it about it could be around love that could bring you a burden.
I'm screenshotting all the questions too, so when she has time for questions, we'll go back to the original list.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I wouldn't say don't go. It just might feel like a lot. But it does feel good at the same time because there is love there.
Okay. Alani. All right, so when is not some, so here's the thing. For when, we really want to either be looking at, we can give you a really generalized thing, but I have had the most gifted people give me timing, and even the most experienced veteran mediums will tell you timing is the hardest thing to zone in on. And also, I think part of that reason, and I've talked about this before, I did a video on like spiritual hygiene and connecting with your guides, and I talked about how when you fall into prediction addiction, you will skip the things that you need to. Venus Energy says, thank you, Nicole. You will skip the things that you need to get to the place that you're wanting the prediction for. And also, I've had people give me timing and it was off a whole year. So they saw August, but it was August of the next year. So and those people are like never wrong but about anything else but timing. I'll tell the story all the time. Lana told me something was going to happen and she kept just getting a 2, whether it was 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 days. Well, it happened in February, which is the second month. That's what the 2 was for. So if you want to rephrase another question, but when, she can ask do you see commitment happening with you and Julio? But that's a lot of the when is honestly the only way to see when as specifically as possible is usually looking at like 3 different charts in somebody's astrology.
I'm doing shorty right now.
Okay.
Are you back to let me know if my health is currently taking a turn for the worse?
Hi, Teresa and Shorty and Varying Red Beard and Zoe and Alt, Tiffany. Hi, Jazzy D. Hi, Yoli. So glad you guys are, so glad you found your way back. I think I saw you on when I did Lana's podcast, which was great. Hi, Odette and Shauna. I'm taking a second to say hi while you're shuffling. Hi, Dolly and Amber. Going backwards. Hi, Dazzling Empress.
I have the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. This feels like a beautiful energy to me.
Yeah.
I don't feel that whatsoever. It feels like slow progress.
Also looks like inner work is going to help, and that we know that to be true. Our inner state of being, I mean, your vagus nerve, we keep the trauma in our hips. Inflammation is caused by all disease leads back to inflammation, so that feels too like any inner work that you do. And I happen to know Shorty, and Shorty is doing a whole bunch of examination and inner work. I think that inner child, yeah, it's going to be slow, but as you do the inner work, your health is probably, I think you're feeling, if you don't mind me jumping in on this one, I think what she's feeling is the fight or flight. Because when you go into fight or flight and your nervous system goes into sympathetic and we want it in parasympathetic, you could feel nauseous, you could feel off, you could feel not hungry, you could not sleep. It presents as there could be some kind of health condition, and it technically is. It's still, the body keeps the score. And there's stress right now for you. And so I think if it's and digestive problems, your vagus nerve is also like the health of our butt, our gut biome is connected, all of it. Cortisol,
spicy foods too. Mars and moving into the.
Oh, what was that about spicy foods?
With the inflammation, I feel like to stay away from spicy foods.
Okay. And also try just taking cortisol in the morning and at night. That'll help your stress. Okay, do we want to try to go back? Oh, okay. Alani retracted her message. I think she's going to rephrase it. All right, Yes, do you see commitment happening with you and Julio?
Okay.
I think I saw Moanne here before too. Hi, Spartacus.
Okay.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Venus Cloud.
Oh no, where is the Knight of Wands today? We get the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands.
The Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands?
Page.
Oh, the Page of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands.
I'm getting a little bit of maybe an immature energy, but it is a fun energy.
She was asking about commitment.
Necessarily feel commitment right now.
I'm gonna do a whole show too about like when we have an, you know, we can have a connection to somebody and not be crazy and feel that connection, and it's bad timing. So what do we do with that space? Because when we wait, sometimes that doesn't help. So like how do we hold space for somebody without going into waiting energy? If
Yeah, that's all I'm picking up for that.
it's not okay. Um okay, thank you. And everyone's saying thank you to Nicole. So all right, so then we have Shorty. Zoe is asking if she could just get a message from her guides.
Sure.
And then do you want to do like one more after that? We'll go back to signs and we'll stop again. Okay.
Yes. Let's do that. All right.
I hope you're well, Tiffany. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for lending your gorgeous energy. Hi, Flower Beauty. Hi, Rose. Ah, Peacock and Flower Beauty are all the same. Ah, now that makes so much sense. I remember you from last summer.
Spirit. Let me get a. I have 6 of Cups. And the Hierophant. And then the 7 of Wands when it comes up. So I feel whatever you're going. I'm sorry, this feedback. Make sure whatever commitments or you're committed to, you get equal taken.
Make sure whatever commitment she's.
It could be a relationship, a job, a new hobby. But I feel like make sure you get the equal give and take. Because I feel some defensiveness here. I don't know if it's from another person.
Advocate for yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. I hope that makes a little bit of sense.
It always does. And that's the thing. We just have to give the answer. When we take ego out of it as readers, it's really helpful. And not ego like we're so egotistical, we think that we're the best. Just the concern that we're wrong. And just know that like that is spirit giving us the message. Because I say all the time, the one time I told somebody, she asked places to move and I kept saying this one place would be ridiculous for her to move, but I kept getting like that I had to say it to her. And then 6 months later she called me, telling me that her husband had surprised her with a trip there, and that's why I kept getting it. So sometimes we're getting something that doesn't resonate now and will happen later. But
Definitely that advocate for yourself.
Okay, and then one more for this morning. Well, one more for this little break, and then we're gonna go back to we're starting with air signs. Alt 3 wants to know, will they be moving in the next 2 to 3 years? And they also say welcome.
Thank you.
70 before said you look like a model. I don't disagree with that at all. Also, Nicole has the hair that is, you know, that is goals.
Goals,
The big lush head of hair.
I washed it.
You can post a question, Flower Beauty. We're finishing up her questions for this spot, and then we're gonna do 1 or 2 more. We also have to finish the other 6 signs. But we're going to come back another week. I'm going to say this for anybody, a couple people just joined. If Nicole doesn't get to read for you today, her link tree, Lee, I'm going to trouble you again for her link tree and her email. Go to her link tree, follow her socials, and then you can email her at NicoleLilithMedium@gmail, and you're going to put your YouTube name in the subject matter. You can include a picture of a pet or a loved one, and then we're going to do another show where she takes the questions from those emails that people who have followed her. She'll make a little folder. And so we'll do a whole, I wanted to introduce her, but I'm happy to create a platform so that she can do that again, and you can all find her, and then you'll follow her on YouTube too. So eventually she can do her own stuff, and then you have another person to go to, especially for pets and everything else. So if you don't get to get a question answered today, then you know, there'll be another time, I promise. I'm so sorry, Nicole. You go ahead and answer the question.
Not at all. I feel yes. I have the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands came out again.
That's nice. Queen of Pentacles with moving is nice.
Right. That's why I got the immediate yes. With the Seven of Wands, keep for yourself, because I feel like somebody's gonna try to block this, but I feel it's we're doing it. Yes.
Yeah. So do you see the Seven of? I'm always curious because my relationship with the Seven of Wands is that it's a card of advocacy, because you're like you're not you're in it, like, and behind somebody and defending, where the Nine of Wands, everything is like, this is what I already built, and that's defending. So to me, one is defensive and one is advocacy a little bit.
Yep.
But that doesn't have to be, but it's funny because I find I always ask readers that question.
I read too, like what I pick up on in the card. So normally I do read it that way. I just feel like there might be a blockage from somebody, but I do feel it's a yes.
All right, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go on and do air signs, and then from there we will revisit the questions that you guys asked already. So you don't have to and the one thing I always ask when we're doing questions is please don't ask the same question like a gazillion times. Hi Adva, hi Hannah, because it keeps us from seeing the responses, so that it's kind of like spamming. I know you're not trying to spam us, but if you ask the question once, trust me, my Virgo will see it and be diligent. And if for some reason I missed it, I'm pretty fair. So you don't have to post a question more than once. All right, I'm going to do Geminis. How are ya? You finally get a break. A little bit of a break. Pluto's there's nothing in Libra. There's kind of nothing in Gemini. You got the Pisces, Neptune, and the Pisces, Saturn square and stuff, but like, that's the least of it. Fixed signs and cardinal signs are getting it. You did miss Taurus. If anyone wants to go back, thank you, Shauna. Shauna said that was great. So if anyone wants to go back to, if they're just joining, we did fire and earth. If you go back, please, for the love of great Odin's beard, take your little finger or your little mouse and take the little red dot, because we're in a live stream, and bring it all the way over so you're completely caught up, because I see it happen every week that people then are guessing like 5 minutes after a contest. They miss the contest. They miss the questions because they think that they're in real time and they're not. It's really hard to know once you go backwards. It's very easy to, it's very cloudy. So once you listen to your sign, take the little red dot and move it all the way as current as you can. Usually that is to the far most right of the bottom of the screen there. Okay, Gemini, we are talking about while we have the clarity of Neptune in retrograde, and we do not have the, can I trust that? In Venus in retrograde, while you are reevaluating, restructuring your relationship with money and attraction of love, investments. But in between this time right now, between now and the 23rd, you will get little signs because because Neptune is in retrograde, you will see things. And we're asking for each sign. Hi, Tina. You know, what, when you see it, should you not ignore? Because you will see things. You will. Yeah. Okay.
I'm staying for the drama.
Shorty, you're so sweet. Shorty wanna drink. I used to sing to her all the time during my live streams last summer. Okay. I apologize, Gemini. Because yours is overwhelming and general, but not general. The truth. This is the moon card. Isn't this stunning? This is the Fountain Tarot. So this is their moon card. What you're not going to ignore is the truth. Listen, Gemini's superpower, there's a bunch of them, but one of them is to pivot. And so you're going to see the truth of something. You can get distracted, get busy, do something else. You can be entertaining. You can make a joke. You can make an appropriate joke. You can do all the things that Gemini are so, you can try to think your feelings. But if you ignore the truth of a situation, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, third house placements, all Gemini placements, that's it. It'll probably trip you up later. And I know saying the truth feels really generalized. But honestly, this black and not all the cards are black and white. Yeah, not all the cards are black and white in this deck. This black and white kind of the structure so sharp, you know, coming up from the ocean, the waves that are crashing. This feels like, honestly, I'm not gonna, Geminis, this feels like a truth you've been running from. This feels like a truth that you've been running from. Because it's easier to think your feelings, because it's very easy to distract, because you're so often intelligent that you can rationalize and think out why something is okay. And the other thing about Geminis is like they can go with the flow. They have a little less judgment. They can be a little less committal, sure. At times about things, not always. There are Geminis that get married, stay married faithfully for a long, long time. There are Geminis that have a job and keep it their whole lives. It's not about that so much. It's just about this is a truth that you haven't wanted to see because the inconvenience of what has to happen next, I feel is weighing. Maybe a disconnection from a person that was once just a fun thing. But there's a truth that's going to come up. It's probably going to, and Geminis can be intuitive. Any sign can be. It's probably going to come up in a way that you can't ignore. I think you might have like ignored it even though you knew you were ignoring it before. So that big moon, that cold, hard truth. When I see that moon with the black and white and those cold, hard structures, that feels like cold, hard truth. Both Geminis. If that is a Geminis are two-faced joke, we don't do that here because there's no sign shaming. If you come across a page on TikTok or an astrologer that sign shames or like villainizes placements, that's probably somebody who hasn't done their inner work, and they're using their own personal experiences to delineate an entire sign as somebody. We're kind of any astrologer that opens their mouth in public, whether you want to be or not, you're an educator. So we don't sign shame here. I do absolutely make jokes. But I get Geminis didn't have, I'm just going to say this, Geminis didn't have the luxury or the privilege of hope or safety often in childhood in one way or another. And so they had to learn how to mask really quick for actual, sometimes physical safety. So them just being able, they're also multifaceted. So for them to be able to like pull out a genuine part of them that makes the conversation easier with the person in front of them isn't them being two-faced, it's them in their survival mode, the inner child that isn't healed. After you do this for a while, especially Gemini moons, there's usually some kind of tie of a lack of safety as a child. So every single one of the stereotypical pop astrology flaws that people talk about in each sign, they are almost all tied back to some kind of survival mode rooted in childhood. That's all I have to say about it. But I know that you make jokes. I know that you make jokes, Redbeard. It's all good. Okay, we are on. Would you like to do Libra?
Sure. Actually, I'm feeling called to do Aquarius, so can you do Libra?
Yeah, absolutely. Libras, I'm gonna use my Stranger Things deck for you because Libra's readings, it got a little crunchy again. When I first started, I remember going like, oh, I don't want to read that for Libra. And then Libra's cards got so good and they just got a little crunchy again. Yeah. Your Gemini babies are beautiful souls. Of course they are. I have a Gemini moon child. I have a Gemini rising child. Your Lee here is Gemini rising. I have a bonus child that's a Gemini. Now, have I had bad experiences in relationships with Gemini? Sure, but they had other placements. They had their own childhood environment. Gemini moon, agree. Okay. You know, I'm a Cancer. Shh. The attachment issues that I have had working on, PhD in Cancer is figuring out your attachment issues, right? Like, but that stems from childhood. My Aries moon has issues. Like every single one of my placements had a challenge and had to overcome. All stems from childhood. But I'm good with the kidding. Sometimes I call my Virgos my closet freaks, right? I make a joke about how Capricorns apologize. It's a blank page. They don't, right? Like, so I'll make those jokes, but just not generalizing an entire sign into an unkind generalization. Yeah. That was a very redundant sentence. I hate that when I do that. Okay. Libras. What should you not ignore right now, especially in the next 2 weeks? Okay. No, that's like too many cards. Okay. That was interesting, though. Six of Pentacles upside down and the Nine of Wands. So that's what was showing when the deck split, but it spilled all over. So I'm just going to say that out loud. All cards should have the shiny finish. They're easier to shuffle. Agree, Nicole? Oh. And I feel like the ones without the shiny finish also don't last as long. Okay. It's doing it again. Libra, it's like it doesn't want to give you... Okay. So the Nine of Wands came out, and then the Ten of Wands. Listen, It's so Libra for you to carry something that's not yours to carry. Ten of Wands for me is putting down a burden. The original Rider Waite illustration, we see a person with a sack on their back filled with twigs, sticks, half of a tree, whatever it is. And they are hunched over, weighted down. Ten of Wands is about finally being able to put down a burden that is no longer yours to carry. Libras aren't like people pleasers. Like they'll, to the point where like they will say something that they're that you don't like. It's not like they say, they're not yes men or yes people. It's that if they can get harmony, they'll try to compromise. And I always say Libra's glyph looks like a bridge. And the challenge in Libra is when you say, and I just had this conversation with a client, like, such a beautiful sentiment to say, I try to meet people where they're at. But if where you're meeting them where they're at and they're never coming to the middle of the bridge and you're always coming to their side of the bridge, after a while, that's sustained lack of reciprocity. That's a sustained lack of equal effort. And so Libras are kind of love to some degree. They certainly like a partner, but they like somebody to share things with. They're run by Venus, and they are run by the evening star of Venus, because that's how closely it's related to the air, right? Where the Taurus is the earthy one. It's the touching, the feeling, the touching, the eating, and on all the other stuff, the tasting. But Libra is sharing the beauty. It's the aesthetic of things. So having somebody to share the beauty, it's like, does that incredible painting exist unless I can like stand there with somebody and drink it in together and have the experience together? So they will cross past their point of the bridge, and that is how they want to create harmony. You've been doing that for a sustained amount of time. You're not meeting somebody where they're at if you're constantly doing most of the work and making most of the compromise. There's a burden to put down, and it feels scary to do. But something's going to happen. And Libra, I think that there might be an incident where you kind of feel disrespected. And so when that happens, don't ignore it. Don't think that was a bad day, that was a bad transit. Just make changes. I'm not saying you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not saying you have to end your relationship. You have to reevaluate. These things are stuff you're not supposed to ignore, so that when we go into Venus in retrograde, you can reevaluate and restructure what you're investing your time, your heart, right? And sometimes finances in. So please don't ignore if you are meeting somebody where they're at, which sounds lovely, but what that really means is you're meeting them. You're doing all the space filling. Okay.
Cancer doesn't.
Oh, Cancer is space filler. Yes. Right. Because they're attached to fixing the thing, nurturing it.
All right. Reading for Aquarius.
You are reading for Aquarius, my love.
What are we not going to ignore? I'm going to take this one. The truth. Ace of Swords.
Ace of Swords?
Ace of Swords came. No idea, but then the Six of Cups fell out also. So for me, I read that as like a truth from either a soulmate. I don't really feel like it's inner child work, but it could be. I feel like it's more of a soul connection.
I'm feeling the same energy. I know it's your reading, but that's...
Yeah, and this feels, it's like they're gonna try to slide it by you or something. It feels like a little slick. But it's definitely from a deep soul connection with somebody you love.
So what shouldn't they ignore?
Don't ignore whatever is said. Or whatever you feel like might be getting slid under the rug. Because I also feel like there's something hidden with that message.
It's funny because I always say, like, Aquarius is not about that drama. They're not. So, but also sometimes that's what can make Aquarius ignore things, is because they're like, if I put my toe in that water, then I have to deal with everything else that, like, once you open the Pandora's box, it's open. And they're not about the drama, where everybody else is like... I used to tease during 2020. I had an old picture of, like, you know, an illustration of what Pandora supposedly looked like. She had a box and she's like, "Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be unboxing the murder hornets." You know, because there was something happening every 5 minutes. Don't forget to smash like and follow. Some people are about that life. Some people want, you know, look at your FYP. Is it people arguing? Is it drama? Is it, you know, I have a little bit of that on my FYP, but my whole FYP isn't like that. But like in Aquarius, it's just like, why would anybody waste time about somebody else's drama? So sometimes they're like, I see Pandora's box. There might be a truth in there for me, but I'm just going to ignore it because I don't,
Yes.
Not about that life. I don't want to know about what's in the box.
Totally ignoring. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's up to you. Do you want to take a few questions, or should I move on to, like, should I do the Cancer card and then you take questions? It's up to you.
Either which.
Okay. If you're feeling up to it, then I always sometimes I forget that I do this like all the time. Right.
Yeah, I'll take some questions.
Even my other veteran friends are like, "How do you do 3 hours?" I think it's the meditation before.
I feel good. Okay.
All right. So we are going to go back to the questions that were put up before. If you want to put up new questions if you didn't ask a question before, and you want to ask a question now, you can. And if we can get to it, we will. Okay. I'm trying to find where you left off. You left off with alt, I think. Teresa Griffin, who is the amazing lady who made my incredible Lazy Susan that I live for, and this gorgeous. That's my favorite lovers card because I feel like the lovers are always like, you would never put them together kind of thing. And so this is my favorite, and Miss Connie Jo told her it was my favorite, and she did this. Isn't that incredible? And she did that for me as a congrats on the you know, new business kind of. So that is Miss Teresa. And what is it Spirited Arts? Put your business name in the chat, Teresa. Teresa wants to know, will she be having major health issues?
Right. Actually,
I think too, it's easier for us to look into what's currently going on or what might be coming up very soon, but like, ever is hard to see because it's the quality of your questions help the quality of our answers. I drank all my coffee and I'm so sad because it is all gone. Okay, I'm gonna grab this deck for Cancer for when we're ready. And guys, don't forget to go follow her on her socials.
I got the Page of Air. Oh, the Page of Swords.
Page of Swords. I'm just repeating what you said because it breaks up a little bit.
And then the I feel like there might be some challenging information that you're going to have to deal with, or a truth you might not want to hear. So I'm thinking about major health issues, right? I feel like there's probably something you're going to hear you don't like, but I don't feel like it's a major health issue. You're just going to, the inner strength, you're going to have to muster up. But I feel like
it's like a lifestyle change that is going to be hard to be faithful to or something. As soon as you said that, I don't know if that's coming through for you. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, because I feel like there is some blockage there is something that you're holding. It doesn't have to be like a physical thing, but it is something that you need to release. And then beyond that, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I got.
Okay, the next question. Nikki 22, is there anything you can tell her about her follow-up CT scans? Also health image.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking weird. It's the feedback that I'm getting. So
that's all right. We're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna send her a lavalier mic.
Oh, Nikki, okay. Great name.
I'm putting your logo on the screen so people can see. So that's what you're just double checking for her socials. She is on Instagram and here, I should move these around. I will never use Restream again. This is so much better. I'll put it right next to you. This way people can see it.
Oh, look at you. Thank you.
You're welcome. The Lilith is for Black Moon Lilith. That's why.
All right. I have King of Swords and King of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this, I have a confident, sharp truth being, but I also have a lot of stability there afterwards.
Well, I heard the stability afterwards. What was the first thing you said?
I feel like a light. There's going to be like a truth. And it feels like there's some light. You'll get an enlightenment from it. But I do feel stability after that. So I'm not sure what the sharpness is that I feel. It is health related. It could be something that you need to cut out. But then after that, I feel solid. That's what I'm getting. Are you feeling anything?
I'm just seeing if we have feedback from Nikki. And also, she asked that question a while ago, so she could have had to step away.
Okay.
But Teresa's saying yes, lifestyle changes with the rolly eye emoji. Okay. The next question, I'm trying to go back up to where we were. The next question is from Jazzy D.
Yes.
She wants to know if her person of interest is going through some kind of crisis or spiritual awakening, because he be acting flaky.
He be acting flaky. Okay.
I think it's funny too. You guys might not know this, but both Nicole and I come from places originally that would give us very strong accents. And, you know, for fun one day, if we ever did a show together in both of our original accents, I don't know that anyone would. They would either not understand half of what we're saying, or they would be so distracted by how. Yeah.
The Boston accent, I cannot.
Yeah, I have. Right. I used to talk like this all the time. And my daughter lived with my mom, who was originally from Queens. And it's so funny because I took her out of New York when she was young at first. But she has a stronger New York accent than I do now. She's like, I like a good sauce. Like, because she lived with my mom for so long that she like picked her Queens accent. It's hilarious. But yes, that would be pretty entertaining if Nicole used her wicked smart accent and I used my New York accent for a show. Probably be hilarious.
There's something going on, Jazzy. I have the Three of Pentacles, then the Tower.
Oh, alien, disagree. Coffee. Somebody said, say coffee. I used to get free drinks out of coffee when I lived in other states. Yeah.
Yeah, so this does feel like a friendship, or could be something more. There's definitely something going on.
Do you think he's going through a current awakening, which is making him act?
I honestly, yeah, I do.
When we first go through the awakening, we can go in hermit mode big time.
And it feels like a shock to a system a little bit. And it also feels like he might be going through some darkness too. So yeah. I don't feel any shadiness. I feel like it is something that he's doing.
Okay, one more and then I'm going to do Cancer. We have Yoli, who I'm so happy to see back in the community. Good morning, Nicole. I need guidance from my guides and spirits on a romance I'm in.
All right.
And then I think we'll do, are you up to, like, I'll do some cards and then we'll do one more pass back at you?
Sure.
Okay. So then the next time we go, Anna Michelle, Anya, Venus Cloud, and Rose. We'll get those people. For sure. I also have an appointment, so we can't go. Saturdays are now my busy. Saturday and Sundays are my busiest days now. Alien, I would offer to spank you, to put you in timeout, but you would probably like that. Oh, Connie Joe just said hi. She hopped
Connie
on.
Joe.
We were talking about you lots, Connie Joe.
Where'd the question go? Yoli, I don't feel...
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at something else in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Sorry, talk to Yoli. My bad.
I don't feel like this is a good relationship for you or gonna be. I have 3 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, in the 10 of Swords. I feel like Spirit's telling you to stay single or away from whoever this potential roommate is.
Yeah, those
I can't read that any other way.
Yeah. I concur on that one. My daughter just said my grandma would casually say things like, traffic is terrible, bumper to bumper. And so they were on their way in a Uber. And she said that. My daughter was like, that's such a New York thing to say. She goes, everybody says that. They had this whole big thing. And she was like, no, Grandma, that's a very bumper to bumper. It's a very New York thing to say. And so the funny thing is somebody said she sounds funny, but my mom did not. She loosened up later, but my mom was dead ass. Like, she was serious, and she would be like, I'm not trying to be funny. And that made it more funny. So she was funny, but not as intentionally as you would think. Yes. Yeah. And she would be like, I don't have any accent. I don't know what you're hearing. Like, she was so funny. But now Lee genuinely has it, and it's funny because now my mom is gone, and like my daughter will break out in a very similar accent, and it's great because it's like, you know, she's still here. Bumpa to bumpa. Okay. Everybody's excited. Connie Joe's in the house. All right. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be feeding you a new question. I am falling short on my job. Okay, so we have Anya. Oh, sorry, Anna Michelle. Do you see my relationship changing this year?
How do you see my relationship changing?
I like my food to have flavor. She used to say all the time. I was trying to make her eat healthy. I don't like this. I like my food to have flavor. 1,000 different spices in it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Flavor just meant lots of salt, lots of sugar, lots of processed stuff. If it didn't have any of that, then she didn't. Yeah. Needs more flavor. I can't.
I love it. Okay.
Aw, Connie Joe hugs. I'll talk to you in the morning, babe.
Page of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles in Temperance. I feel in like you've put in a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of patience into this relationship, and you're waiting for your fruit to ripen. You're ready. It feels like you put a lot of work. I don't feel the other side of the relationship. I feel like you've nurtured a lot. And you're kind of waiting patiently to see if anything's going to change. I feel, I wonder if she's a very patient person, because I feel a lot held back. And you're like, all right, the time's here. You're looking for something. I don't feel any change. I feel like if you stay patient, you're probably gonna slow progress.
It's funny when you talk, it sounds like a sonogram almost in the background. I don't know. Does anybody else hear that? It sounds like a heartbeat. Like literally like a sonogram that woo, woo, woo. Like, yeah.
I hear the feedback and I'm trying to like ignore it.
We can't hear the feedback, but I hear like a heartbeat.
Strange.
Well, electronically stuff will get, sometimes I'm in a session and you can't hear it till it plays back. I can hear stuff, the other person can't, but it's like a, yeah. Well, I mean, it gets picked up. Okay, so then we have Anya. Will my partner pursuing modeling and me being his agent bring us abundance?
Ooh, that's a good.
That is interesting. I'm gonna let Nicole answer. I just got something. I might add it at the end. Shorty, New York sounds like a different language, right? It does. Oh, yeah, liking and sharing really helps. Sharing helps. And if y'all want to like put it on your phone on silent, clean your house or whatever it is that you're doing when you're not using your phone, like the second watch helps so much. We're getting closer to 1,000. I actually got an email from YouTube saying that I'm like right there to start opening up like more features that actually I can give back to the community with. You're so welcome, Anna. I'm sure Nicole says you're welcome. She's in the middle of channeling.
So intuitively, like before I started shuffling, I could would bring you abundance, but not necessarily financial. So the cards that fell out were Three of Swords, the Hierophant. So I had to clarify what Three of Swords is and get the Magician.
Was the Three of Swords and the Hierophant?
Yes. So I usually read that as some heartbreak around a commitment that you're manifesting. So intuitively, I felt like there would be some type of abundance. This is reading different. What are you getting?
I just got like there's gonna be shenanigans that Anya, if you're the agent, it'll be good in a way, because if not, I just keep feeling like he's like swimming with sharks. And I mean that's I don't have to be intuitive to know that industry just kind of is that. But I'm seeing yucky cougar energy like around. So like, but the thing is I don't know that that wears you out after a while, because the agent part, you want to just be like booking and negotiating and stuff like that. And I think you feel like you go into full on advocate mode besides having to do all the other things. So that is just what I picked up. Like it would be good because you'll know exactly what's going on. And I feel like if you didn't know exactly what was going on, I think that would be bad for the relationship. There would be too much of worry.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on him. That whole career can change a person. Some people stay completely down to earth. Okay. Oh, Nikki, she just read for you, honey. All right, and then the last one we're going to do before we go into Cancer, and then we'll come back one more time for questions. I think Nicole is hitting it out of the park. You're like completely comfortable.
Am I?
Yes.
Right.
You're ready for your own channel. Hi, Susie, Nicole. Susie, you're such... Oh, that was very nice of you. Thank you. Okay, Nicole, welcome. Actually, can't wait to book with you. Do you just see... All right, does... for Venus Cloud, do you see success for the business that they are working on growing? So they have a business they're working on growing right now.
Okay.
And then when you come back, then next time we'll start with Rose. I didn't skip anybody, did I? That one got done. That got done. That got done.
Business.
That got done.
Business is plural. That's true. I do. 10 of Pentacles.
Oh.
I think I need a else, to be honest. Yes.
I mean, 10 of Pentacles might not be like instant, like boom of growing, but that, however it grows, it's going to be stable and be,
fulfilling.
Oh, that is a nice one.
That is.
Okay. Flower, other people were before you. So we're doing it in between our signs. Other people were way before. We're going in a row. Let's see. It sounds like a great company. It can be. It's not going to be the company. It's not going to be like an agency that you work for or anything else. Anya, it's when he gets like on to shoots and stuff like that. Like more like who he gets hired for, not the people that hire him out, if that makes any sense. You get that too, Nicole? Yeah.
Totally.
Like once he's on set. It could be fine, but it's better that you are his agent is what I'm getting. But it could possibly bring a decent amount of stress. I just keep feeling at some point it's going to be like, at what point is it like, do you tell somebody to go F off, or that they're inappropriate if that all of a sudden means you don't get callbacks, that kind of thing. But there's a way to work around anything, honestly. Okay. Yeah, and when we do cold reads, we're like, there's however many people there are in the room, and we have to connect to their energy. We have to delineate what spirit's trying to show us. So rather than like rush through, that's why sometimes if I'm trying to get to as many people, they're quick yes or no's. But for readings, you can't do all 30 people in one shot. Okay. Okay. Cancer. You got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. This could be around some kind of project. A Three of Pentacles is like, it could be an upgrade, a promotion upgrade, in a relationship upgrade, in a career. It also is, thank you, Juan, Cancer and 4th house placements. Also, though, it tends to be group work. And what's interesting here is that here's the Three of Pentacles in the upright. When it's upside down, it looks like this person is holding up the whole structure.
Yeah.
Cancers, if you are holding up the whole structure, especially if it's like a project or things that people are supposed to be working on, and Cancer doesn't really want to do business with people that they don't love. they can separate a little bit, but they're not gonna bother investing into anything with a partner unless they can actually genuinely feel safe, because that's important to a Cancer, and to feel loyalty and trust, and that's usually going to come out of some kind of situation where there's also a personal attachment. Don't ignore, if you are doing all the work, don't ignore it. And then it's going to be time in Venus retrograde to restructure how that investment, whether it's your time you're investing, emotions you're investing, and money you're investing. And sometimes time is money. So you're going to, I think that is crazy. Is that not crazy, Nicole?
Yeah, it is crazy. I feel that. I like
it also, and this is the Starman Tarot that the lovely Annika gave to me for my birthday last year.
Yeah.
But this card is just so crazy that it came upside down and that it looks like that. You are on your back, and also, you know, Cancer, your energy is decided by the moon. Our sun sign is our vital energy. So when the moon comes in and out, and ebbs and flows, your energy goes up. You can take on a small country, and then you're burnt out, and then back up the next day and burnt out. It's really hard. And so, because this person's laying flat on their back, you have to look and see where it's actually not enriching your life, but stressing you out. But you're the Cancer, and you're trying to nurture everything and everyone. Don't ignore it. You're gonna have to restructure when Venus in retrograde comes. Hi, Erica. Okay. Redbeard, you have some dad jokes. Okay, let's do Scorpio. Do you want to do Scorpio or Pisces? I don't mind.
You can do Pisces, since I don't want to read.
Okay.
For myself.
Okay.
Not that I read for myself.
Well, I get what you're saying. Oh, I mean, every time I pull cards for a placement that's mine, I'm like, people have seen me say, not for me, because I don't want a personal reading for many reasons, and also because it's not about me. So, yeah.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter. I put Scorpio stelliums.
But yeah, so it doesn't matter. But I'll do Scorpio then if you do Pisces. But for sure, we beg spirit to, like, we don't read for us, read for the people, right? But sometimes it feels like we're getting told on. Anyway, it just happens. You try.
I'm just gonna.
You're, yeah, no, honest, that's fine. You're joking. I'm a little bit teasing you about your jokes, just calling them dad jokes, because I am also.
Oh, I just pulled for Scorpio.
I'm also a wise ass. Okay. Huh? You pulled for Scorpio?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I got the death card.
Oh, you got your own card.
Scorpio card for Scorpio.
Resurrection, Phoenix. My goodness. And what was that? Was that the 5 of Pentacles or?
No.
Oh.
This is the death card.
Oh.
And then on the bottom of the deck was the moon. So. Yeah, don't avoid the Phoenix. There's something that needs to come to an end. And I feel like, you know. But Scorpio has this. I feel like you're used to this energy. Maybe it's something you don't want to end. But
Scorpio can know that everything is burnt down, but still feel a little like possession or obsession with it. And, you know, again, ruled by Mars, like to stick your finger in the fire just to make sure you're fully living. So that reading makes total sense to me. So they're not supposed to ignore what's supposed to end. How do you say to Scorpio, you're prolonging your own suffering without it sounding like a good time?
Oh. I'm used to that, so how do you avoid? I don't know. I need to answer that one.
Yeah, well, no, it's the question that will never properly get. How many licks to the middle of a Tootsie Pop? Neither of those things have answers, you know?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read for Pisces. Hi, Valencia. Long time no see. I don't know exactly how many people are before you. Nicole's going to take some more questions when I'm done with Pisces. And don't forget, if you want to win a reading with me, or if you want to just get read by Nicole next time she's on, which will not wait too long for that, maybe like a week or 10 days or so, email her. Lee, if you could do that one more time, you're going to email her at Nicole Lilith Medium after you have followed all her socials by going on her link tree, which Lee will also drop that link. And you're going to follow her on your socials, but when you email her, put your YouTube name in the subject matter. So then the next time she comes on, she can look and see who's asking questions, and if she has an email from you matching and you went ahead and followed, that's all you will need. And you can include a picture of a pet or a person in there. She's just able to get a lot more. Thank you. That's the email, and that's the link tree.
Thank you, Lee.
So if you don't get read today, or you wanted more information, and she does take appointments already, so her booking system is also on that link tree. But she'll be back.
I will.
And rather than like trying to figure out who's who today, because we thought about that, I was like, we should just do a whole second show. So this way it gives everybody time to like be present here and then go follow her. But just copy and paste the link tree. And the little logo next to her, that's what you're looking for. But of course the link tree is easier because you just go click. Okay. Pisces, 2 of Wands in reverse. The 2 of Wands always feels like, hi, Mary the Aries. 2 of Wands for me always feels like you feel polarized or pulled by 2 things you're equally as passionate about. Where the 2 of Swords kind of sometimes feels like somebody else is expecting you to make a decision and you got to do right or left and somehow you're going to disappoint somebody. This feels, Wands to me are more internal. Five of Swords is external fighting. Five of Wands to me is internal conflict. So Wands is often the internal battle, where I see Swords as more an external battle, if that makes any sense. Like the Ten of Swords is a pain somebody else was causing you that has to stop, and the Ten of Wands is a burden you were carrying that you decided to make the decision to still carry. And so, hey, Mel Artista, yay! So when I have the Two of Wands, we have this polarizing effect, right? And when it's upside down, there's something you told yourself that you can't have one thing if you have the other. I hope that made sense to everybody. I'm going to do a whole tarot class. But when the Two of Wands is in reverse, there's something you told yourself, if I have this, then I can't have that. You told yourself that something you're passionate about is they are mutually exclusive to each other. They cannot both exist. And the thing is that they can. There is a fear, almost like a low-key paranoia that you are... we're on Pisces, but we're going to take more questions. Yeah, there's a fear that if you embrace the one thing, you'll have to let go of the other. But there's also a fear that, like, of being unlikable. If you try to do both, I'm getting for a handful of you. Oof. This is something that you've been told your whole life. Like, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yes, you fucking can. And don't worry about people. Pisces can often think people are mad at them. And there's a great saying that, and I invite you guys to write this down someplace. No one's mad at you, right? That's an old saying. Elise Myers made it viral. I want to say like last year, but that is an old saying. No one's mad at you, because the people that care about you and love you will tell you if they are upset with you. Right? So if you are in the paranoia that someone is mad at you and you don't know and you can't figure out why they're mad at you, it's often not about you. The people who love you that matter will come and tell you if they're upset with you. And if there is somebody that is mad at you and they don't care enough to put the effort towards explaining why, then that is not somebody that you should make your life decisions on. You should not mold your best life, what that looks like, around somebody who doesn't even give you enough respect to communicate. And if it's not about they don't have the respect to communicate, they have their own trauma and they can't communicate, okay, give them grace. It is what it is. Everybody's doing the best they can. You still should not be making your own life decisions about how you live your life and your best life based on if somebody's going to be mad at you or you think they might be mad at you. If they're not having the conversation, it does not factor. If they are not having the conversation, it doesn't matter the reason why. If they are not having the conversation with you, then it does not factor into how you live your life. I said what I said. Wow, I feel like it's a long time since I got that feisty. I just get feisty around Pisces because I feel really protective of them. And you're all on my North Node. I am feisty and I am protective. Even my out of bounds Mars and Cancer, let alone being Cancer and an Aries moon. All very, very protective energy. But I always feel, Pisces with those cotton candy walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so I think we're going to take a few more questions and just, again, I never asked for super chats or anything like that. Today is the first day. I'm asking you to follow Nicole. So, I was just going to make a joke and say, go do as you're told, but that could be taken the wrong way. That's just me being a wise ass. Yeah. And plus half of these people would like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back. Rose wants to know if Anthony will try to come back this year.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if she's still here, but I can make a list of who Nicole read for in the comments, so that I'm not gonna be able to timestamp it, but I can put it in the comments, so you can, hopefully people will check later and see if she got to your question. I love this community. I just see that Zoe is telling Shorty that she's sending healing vibes. And then we have Tiffany. And then Flower Beauty.
I have the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Cups.
Ooh.
So I feel like opposing energies. There's some interference. I don't know if it's on your side or his side,
Haley,
but I feel like you're sending the love. And you're waiting for him, possibly. But I do feel some type of restriction here. So, is he going to try to come back this year? Honestly, I feel a maybe. I don't get it really a yes or no.
Lee, I'm texting you right now.
That's what I get.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Oh, there was a whole bunch of... Did nobody else hear that? Okay.
I heard that.
Okay. Okay, and then... Flower... I think it's... Yes. Flower... Tiffany first, and then Flower Beauty. So Tiffany says it's been a rough year. Wait, no. She asked a question in here before. I think she just wanted something from her guides.
Okay. I should have grabbed my oracles. Grab this one. So just a message from her guides?
Yes.
For Tiffany?
Tiffany is another person in our metaphysical community, and she's lovely. So if you feel that energy, that's accurate. Sorry, guys, I had to interrupt because that I talked to Lee, and she will not be here for a minute because I just made her run out of our house because I'm distinctively hearing the garbage truck, and our garbage is Friday. However, I worked on 4th of July and forgot to take that whenever there's a holiday that they postpone it a day. So I told my son, to, who's a 14-year-old boy, to bring the garbage back up, thinking it was empty yesterday. And just realized we're getting our garbage skipped, and it's the summer. You cannot get your garbage skipped. So life is happening in the background. Yes. Tiffany said yes, just from her guides.
Okay. So I got the Empress and the Queen of Wands. I feel expansion. Mm-hmm. A lot of passion. You're on fire. So I'm getting to nurture whatever you're trying to grow. And don't give your left arm in the process. Just nurture it as you can.
Yeah, she's a really lovely energy.
Yeah. I feel like she gives a lot. So don't give too much of yourself away and you'll be fine.
All right, thank you. And then Flower Beauty wants to know, was it S who stole my money or his parents? Thank you. Thank you, Lee. We can have cake for lunch since you had to do that.
I think it was him. I got the Knight of Wands. And it feels very like he's trying to hide, like his face feels covered. So there's something that he doesn't want to tell you and that he's keeping from you. So I think it's, I don't feel his energy whatsoever.
I also had gotten a yes another time for that question, so it's probably unfortunate confirmation.
No.
And then Shauna wants to know if she's a witch, and she said that's a serious question. So, and also just to clarify, a witch doesn't mean that the version of the witch, the crone, the ugly with the warts and the big, that is a patriarchal depiction of somebody who was powerful enough to mix herbs and heal people, and knew how to harness power. So we take the new definition of how we feel and know that word to mean something negative, and it actually isn't.
Definitely not. I mean, it definitely isn't. That was an answer to sure.
Nicole is on Facebook, and you can get to her Facebook through her link tree, Anastasia. But thank you for listening. Thank you for asking that question.
And I think my TikTok link might not be working. So
okay, she's N.Lilith medium with a little black moon symbol on. I will figure out a way to post it. If you're following me on TikTok, I will just make a little video and put her in the comments or something in the next 24 hours. Because the first one got weirdly shut down for zero reason. So she had to make a new one.
Okay. Shauna, I got 3 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 7 of Wands. So I'm not feeling a no. I'm feeling more of there's something you need to advocate for, or you need to work and heal first. So maybe that is a yes. Because I'm getting you need to work through something before you reach a certain point. If that makes any sense. That's what I get.
Okay. And do you have time for one more?
Yes.
So was that like a basic yes? I mean, I know that.
Basically,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Shauna definitely is gifted.
Yeah.
And Nicole and I kid around about being witches all the time. So it's like, it's really, it just depends. Like, but I don't do baneful intention work, which I think is what people conflate the word practice or intention or spell work or any of that with, you know, sending people negative stuff. That's baneful practice, just like every religious practice, every spiritual practice, there can be like a darker, there can be a couple of darker exercises. You could decide that you only work in light and still be a witch. So,
yeah, that's what I felt. Yes.
I would just call you a
Pure
practitioner.
gifts. There
Yeah.
might be some stuff to work through.
Yeah. I just refer to it as somebody who's a practitioner.
Yeah.
So it's not misunderstood.
Yeah. The stigma.
Okay. Would you like to take one more? Or are you donezo? Okay. One more and then I have to run because I actually have a session. Make sure you're sharing and liking. Please, please. Especially sharing. You can copy that link and send it to yourself. It still counts as a share, and that's really helpful. Adva, do you see me changing to her job to a more reliable, safer, better paying job in the next few months? Adva, I don't think your question has to be or. I think that if you get stability in one, then you can do the business. But whether it's in the next few months, I'm going to let Nicole answer that. Shauna said that 1,000% made sense. Your audio is out, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I said great. I was looking for Adva's question. Can you repeat it?
She wants to know if in the next few months, if a better, safer, better paying job will come along. Hi, Annika. We just mentioned you. I guarantee you, Annika just said to herself, "Uh-oh."
I get the Hermit and the Two of Wands came out sideways. So, and then as soon as you said safety, I saw the Four of Swords. So, I feel safe in the next few months. Yeah, this crossroads.
You know what's really interesting? You got the Hermit, and the last time Adva and I spoke within session, we were talking about having her try to be able to work from home. So it's really, that's just confirmation that your guides are really, really on point.
And then the Chariot at the bottom of the deck, so this forward movement with it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So she's got Gemini energy, and she can do more than one thing.
Oh, the Gemini North Node and me.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna follow her next week when she comes back to do the readings for the people that are in her email folder that follow, and then email her, and you're gonna email her with the subject matter being the subject line being your YouTube handle, because or else it would be chaos. That would be too much to, she says, it would be too much to handle for anyone to try to figure out who's who, because again, y'all can have different names from one platform to another from your real name. She doesn't have to use your real name, but you just have to let her know. And if you want to be anonymous, you can tell her that too. If you want to send a picture, also, she does really well working with pictures. I was a little blown away. I can't do that. So everybody's saying thank you. And then
Thank you so much.
when
I
we
had
do
so
that,
much fun.
yeah, sorry. When we do that show, I'm also going to pick a raffle for a half an hour reading, a free reading from anyone that followed her, because I really feel like part of my mission is to empower other people in whatever way. And I think the more beautiful souls that we have that are helping people through their transitioning, awakening, inner peace, their own empowerment, I think that's what we're supposed to do, because the whole point is not how many clients I can have or what I can do. It's the whole point is that we're all supposed to raise our vibration. So I'm happy to support others. Also, email me if you also want to be a guest. I will do another guest probably in late. I will honestly, I might not do another guest until mid-September when this Mercury in retrograde is over. But I will have Nicole on again before then, and of course Connie Joe will be back. As she's with her family, so it's been a little busy. Yes, she's excellent. And thank you, Lee, for reposting that. So that is her link tree. So you can go follow her, and then you're going to email her and let her know what her is, so she can see that you followed her. And then you're going to go on in her email folder for a list of people we can read for. If you're watching this after today, you have pretty much all week to go follow her to get read by, and then I'm sure pretty soon she will be on her own. And go follow her YouTube so she can start doing this. She doesn't really need my training wheels. She's just here so that I could introduce her to everybody, and then she will have her own platform, and I will be watching with everyone else. Thank you all for being just an amazing community. Do you want to say anything, Nicole?
Everybody. I had a lot of fun, and thank you for being so welcoming. It feels crazy being on the other side of the screen, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, I think you just very natural at it. Like there was no awkwardness at all.
Thank you.
You guys are all welcome, and I will put in the list everybody that she read for. And thank you to Lee. Thank you for Juan, who's like our unofficial moderator. I never give him the wrench because I always want him to feel like he can just come and hang out. But we appreciate him so much. And he does a lot for the channel, quite frankly. So and always keeping me on time and reminding me to stay the house is so necessary. So thank you to everybody, and I will be here tomorrow with a short video. So look out for that. I'm still deciding which subject to do it on. But also vote. Let me know. I'm going to end this and then go in the regular video, go in the comments and tell me what you want to, what you want me to do. Maybe I'll put up a poll on the page so you can look for that. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.